Hi everyone, chatting with Chief Product Officer Luke Fairbank about utility, features and possibilities for other worlds in the RFOX Vault. How are you doing, Luke?
I'm doing really well, Lenny. How are you?
Good to hear, yeah, doing great, thanks. And we're in Arkamoto, the gaming quarter. It's under construction. It's not open to the public yet, but we're sharing some of the progress made to date. It's looking amazing. It's so surreal being in here, isn't it?
It's massive. The scale of it is huge, and I think that's the first thing you notice when you walk in, just the sheer scale and how high you are when you spawn in. But just all the levels, the buildings are huge. The dark sky, it's really cool. It's very different to Calanova.
Yeah, it is. My favorite quarter to date. What did you learn from the Calanova MVP that you've applied to Arkamoto? What's maybe some of the feedback that the community and testers for Calanova provided that's been applied to Arkamoto?
Yeah, so I think a lot of the feedback we got for Calanova, we applied to Calanova as well. So, a lot of it was features, things like people wanted mirrors. That was a really popular one. It's not one I really thought of, but it was a popular one. So we implemented that. Teleporting needs work, I think, because it's sort of one level at the moment, whereas this is, as I said, multiple levels. There's a whole bunch of feedback we got that we rolled in. But I think what we really learnt from doing Calanova is a lot of the tech stuff, the mechanics behind the scenes, and all the infrastructure and everything we had to set up on the back end, that really didn't change between Calanova and Arkamoto, and it's shared. So all those lessons we learnt on Calanova, we were able to then automatically apply to Arkamoto, which really was just the art. Arkamoto was just basically building the art and the scene for the quarter, but we used all the tech that we'd already built for Calanova, which made that process a lot simpler. And I had one of the shop owners last night ask me about that, if it was easier to do Arkamoto. I can't speak for the artist who created it, but the process was definitely easier and it was definitely faster. And we didn't have to go through all those lessons again. So what it means is for the next 2 quarters, we'll really be able to just do the same thing, build the quarter out from an art perspective, get at looking how we want it to look, and then plug it in. And that should really be quite a straightforward process as opposed to the initial Calanova build out.
Yeah, okay. And you mentioned teleporting before. I find it kind of easy to get lost in here. The navigation and moving from point A to B, it's quite difficult and can be frustrating for me, especially in Calanova. So how's that going to be worked on and improved?
Yeah, no, as I said before, I think it's levels. I think it's to do with the levels and the fact that the teleporting is all working on the spawn level at the moment. So if you want to go to a particular shop, you have to go into a shop, find the menu, and then choose the shop you want to jump to. So I think that's okay when you've only got one quarter, but I think when you start getting multiple quarters, that gets a bit messy. So what we need to do, obviously, is have the ability to teleport easily to a shop. And do that from anywhere, and also be able to teleport on levels. So if you want to go to the 3rd level down, we need to somehow figure out how to graphically represent that. It's quite difficult when you've got layering and levels, because seeing that on a 2D map is obviously very difficult. Whether we have to potentially move to a 3D map and be able to just pinpoint the area you want to go to and click on it, that's probably the most likely scenario. But yeah, it's something we have to work through. I think for now, just better visual mapping would help, and showing some of the landmarks to give people their bearings. So if you want to go to a particular shop, it's near a certain landmark, and that could make it a bit easier. I think also the reason Arkamoto is a little bit difficult to navigate at the moment is because it's so new to us. Like I'm pretty used to Calanova now. I can find a store fairly easily. Walking in here right now, I couldn't. It took us a little while to figure out where the store was, the shop that we wanted to go to. Sorry. So the shop layout is the same as it always was in the design and the mapping that we've done. But getting in here, it's very difficult to then visualize that. For me, it is anyway, and figure out where does that actually relate to on this multi-dimensional, multi-layered scene. It's a different thing once you're in here. But I think it'll just come down, as I said, to mapping and being very clear about where the shops are and giving an easy pathway to get to the shops.
Yep, sure. Yeah, it is fun exploring and getting lost, and I guess the teleporting feature will make it easier once we can get our heads around exactly how to use that, because that was my experience earlier. I wanted to go to shop one, but I didn't understand how to use the map. So but with that said, I do find walking around and exploring and getting lost, fun as well. You never know what you see. I guess that could be a fun way to do it. Have interesting things throughout the quarters, so you never know what you bump into, and have an interesting experience. Okay. And what exactly are some of the features of the shop owner tools that are being developed now? Because we have heard a lot about the shop owner tools, but what exactly will they be?
Yeah, so there's two main layers of tools. So there's the existing shop templates which exist today. So we've got a shop owner can choose from multiple different templates, and they can customize those by changing materials, the look and feel of the shop itself, but they're based on these templates that we've provided. What we're doing at the moment is building out those capabilities so you can add things in, so add assets, things like changing furniture or changing the NFT frames, and a bit more ability to actually modify those to get something that looks different from the standard template. But really, they are still based on that standard template. And for a lot of use cases, that will be fine, and that people want to use them as retail shops, and they'll want to sell NFTs in them of any kind, and that will actually be fit for purpose. Also, other functionality that will come in will obviously make that more viable as well. So if we've got, once we bring in music and the RFOX TV integration, so things can be streamed and played from a video source in the shop. Obviously, that adds another level of customization, and that, I think for a lot of shop owners that'll be enough. For those who want to really go to the next level, and and for creators especially who want to actually build something out, we will offer fully customizable scenes that can be integrated in, but they won't be using those standard templates. So we'll use a new scene that's provided by either the shop owner themselves, a third party that's renting the shop, or something that we can help provide the shop owner with. And there'll be things like games and experiences. And so obviously the first one that we've talked about a lot is Rasnia FEAR, which we'll go into in a minute. And I'll do a walkthrough on that and a bit of an explanation on how that actually ties in and how that integration works. But I suppose the big difference there is that if you bring in your own scene, you can make it into whatever you like. Obviously, there's a lot more work involved in that, but it's also going to be very customized, and you're going to be able to do basically whatever you want with it up to a point. And that sort of benefits everybody. We need variety in here. We don't just want everything to be a retail NFT shop. We want some variety. We want some games. We want some experiences. And I think walking into a shop and not necessarily knowing what's in there, that'll keep people coming back and keep that variety and interest going.
Definitely, yeah. On the custom build side of things, yeah, we are starting to see some interest, aren't we? And definitely in areas that we're not expecting would be in the vault. So yeah, it adds variety and will make things very interesting. And yeah, they're real current Web 2 use cases that could be coming into the vault, and then adding the Web 3 elements to it, and bridging that gap. Exactly. So yeah, getting very interesting. So yeah, wait and see what ends up in the vault. All right, and this is the gaming quarter, as we've said, and what features or utility will this quarter have that sets it apart from the other themed quarters?
I think the fact that this is a gaming quarter, there's going to be, I think, more likelihood that games are going to be the weapon of choice for people in the shops. So I think there'll be a bigger representation of games in this quarter. There'll also, events and activities that are put on will also be game related, like think esports, those types of things. So I think there's a quarter for everybody, and there's a lot of gamers out there, so I can see this being a really popular one. But I think they'll all have variety. They need to. Every quarter will have variety. But yeah, I can see this being heavily weighted towards gaming and game-related experiences in these shops.
Yep. Okay. And for games or experiences, existing or new builds, what is the opportunity for them in the Vault? What can the RFOX Vault deliver for them?
Yeah, so I think it's very different to starting out with your own game. So let's say you're going to build a simple game, but something in VR that's immersive. You need to build an audience. You need to get people into your game. You need to get that interest in the first place. I think being in the Vault, once there's a lot of traffic in here, that sort of happens automatically. People will walk around. They'll want to walk into the shops. They want to see what it is, and they'll sort of find these games by walking around. Also, obviously advertising in here is a big thing. Having the shops customized and having all the signage and everything for your game is obviously a big thing. But I think what it does is it gets people in. It gives you automatic interest and gives you the traffic to start with. On top of that, you can build on the tech that we've already built. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You can use our voice system. There's an avatar system there, which is about to be greatly improved with the citizens. So we're going to move to our own tech for the avatar system rather than relying solely on Ready Player Me. That will still be there as an option. But so you have that. You have an avatar system. You've got voice. You've got basically all the back-end functionality, all the servers that we're providing. That all comes, it's all part of the package. A scene in here automatically has that functionality. So a lot of that heavy lifting and work and figuring out how that all ties together is already done. It's just about building a scene with the game mechanics and then plugging into our ecosystem and using all the tech that we've built out.
Yeah, that's it. Now, with we've been talking about Rasnia FEAR and gaming. I guess you wanted to finish up by heading into the game itself and doing a bit of a voiceover for it.
Yeah, so I'll do a bit of a walkthrough and I'll talk about not just the game, but how it actually integrates into the Vault and how that sort of developed and was built out. And it might give people a good idea of how that process works as well.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'm going to explore out here a bit more and I'll leave you to it then.
Cool.
Thanks, Luke.
Lenny.
Cheers, mate.
Later.
Have fun.
Thank you. Okay, I'm in the foyer of Rasnia FEAR. So you can see this is the castle. On the walls here we've got instructions on how to use the game, so tutorials for the controls. And I've got some sample objects for the game. So you've got a little disarm kit. You've got these traps. So when you're playing multiplayer, you can trap the other players, which will actually reset the game and move players around to random positions, which is a bit alarming if you're just about found the exit. Essentially, this is a capture the flag game. So we're going to find this diamond. This is a diamond we want to go and find inside the game somewhere. We're going to pick it up. Once we do that, we have to find the exit. We've got a little compass on our wrist here. We have to go and find where the exit is and get there within an allotted time frame. If somebody else that I'm playing with in a 4-player mode, which is standard, if they come and grab my diamond, then obviously I lose that. They can steal my torch as well. The torch is critical in here because it's pitch dark. But yeah, let's do a little bit of a walkthrough and I'll show you FEAR. So the first thing I want to do is start the game. Okay. Okay, so I want to grab my torch. As you can see, it's extremely dark without a torch. So once I go into one of these entrances, the game will start. Okay. So So what I'm doing now is I'm looking for this diamond. The sooner I find the diamond, the better, because the other 3 players in this game are also looking for the diamond, so it's really a matter of the first one to find it. There's a lot of little spooks and scares along the way. It really makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. It's pretty cool. So as far as how this got integrated into the vault, I mean, this is a Unity scene. The game mechanics are all there, obviously, but we're obviously using the underlying tech in the vault as well. So these scenes can be plugged into a shop like any other shop scene, and they behave essentially like a shop template, except obviously this is a full-blown game. So I think this is a really good first foray into the game integration, because it's obviously very advanced and probably more advanced than a lot of implementations are going to be. So I think this is a really cool example of what is possible, and it'll really give people a good idea of what you can do. You can hear a lot of sounds. You can hear my heartbeat as well. So we're going down this hallway here. This hallway is always a bit scary because there's quite often a scare in here. Oh, I can see a ghost. So that that was scary. Sometimes if you look around, he's still there as well. Whoop, no, not today. That's good. So yeah, I think, as I said, this is a good foray. There's a bear trap. This will really demonstrate what is possible. Yeah, so I think this is, if this can be integrated into the vault, I think almost anything can be. And I think a lot of the games that people build will be a lot simpler, or they'll just be experiences rather than full-blown games. But this hopefully will really give people a good idea and get a lot of traffic through. So we're looking to integrate this next month, and then shop owners will have early access to it. Shop owners have already got access to Arkamoto, Quasar 5 and Calanova as well in the new build that was pushed down to them last night, and they will get this very shortly. So yeah, I'm going to keep exploring around here. Thanks for your time, everyone. Thanks for watching again, and have a great week.